Thanks for joining me today. So we'll be doing a yin style practice for the hips. If you do have some cushions or a bolster nearby, then just have them beside you. They're not completely necessary for the poses that we'll be doing, but they can be really nice to have around. We'll start lying on our back to begin with. Let's have the soles of the feet together and let the knees open wide and place the hands on the lower belly, having your index finger and thumbs slightly touching, making a little diamond shape with the hands. Allow the upper arms to relax back onto the mat. And if for any reason it's uncomfortable to have the hands here, you could just completely have the hands down on the floor as well, it's fine. Close down the eyes. Starting to take a few slow, deep breaths. Allowing the back surface of the body to relax into the mat. Trying to give into gravity here. You might follow the breath in and out through the nose if you want a point of focus. And for the first couple of poses, we won't hold them for too long, so we'll just be here for another couple of breaths here in Supta Baddha. Let's bring the knees up towards the ceiling. Open the feet out so they're as wide as the mat and edges of the feet, outside edges of the feet parallel with the mat. Arms out by your side, and we'll just take a little bit of mobilizing through the legs and hips to begin with. Inhale, exhale, dropping the knees over towards the right, letting the head turn over towards the left. And then inhale, come back up through center, exhaling over towards the left and looking over the right. And inhale through center, exhaling over towards the other side again. And inhale up through center, exhaling to the left. And once again, inhale back through center, dropping the legs over towards the right hand side, turning the head to the left, and feeling free to close the eyes in any of the poses that we do today. If you feel like you are comfortable with the eyes closed, then go for that. Once again, feeling into the weight of the body. We're not holding anything up here. Allowing the neck and the shoulders to be soft. And then let's inhale, come back up through center. And let's drop the legs over towards the other side. And being mindful of the lower back, and if you are overarching into the lower back, if this is hurting the lower back for any reason, then you might bring the legs up a little bit higher, so bring the lower back a bit further down. And also on the exhale, spreading into that lower back area. Imagine it just melting down towards the mat. And then let's inhale, come back up through center, bring the feet so they're hip distance apart, bring the right knee in towards the chest, take that left leg away, flexing both feet, pressing down through the back of that left thigh, reach the right sitting bone towards the inside edge of that left foot. So we're trying to square the hips even though we're bringing the right knee in towards the chest. Shoulders relax back. Take one more inhale. Stay for the exhale, so if you can bring that right knee in a little bit more. Keep pressing down through the back of the left thigh and swapping it over. Bringing the feet together for a moment. Left knee comes in, interlacing the fingers around the outside of that left shin. Drawing it in just to where you can. Press down through the back of the right thigh. Both feet flexed. Reaching that left sitting bone towards the inside of that right heel. Easy breath here. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, try to bring the knee in a little bit more. And let's release that left leg all the way along. Feet come together. And then bring the knees in so you can roll over to one side and make your way up to a seated position. Let's take both legs long, coming right up onto your sitting bones. And this is somewhere you might want to have your cushions nearby. We're going to just take a few longer holds. We'll hold the poses for about 2 to 3 minutes each, so not too long. And cross the right leg over the left and try to bring that right leg all the way up and over. So stacking knee to knee as much as you can. If you've got a lot of space under here, you might put a cushion underneath you. If you feel okay, then later on you might put a cushion in front of you. But for the first pose, we're going to take the left hand over a little bit away from the body. Let the left shoulder relax away from the ear. Bring the right arm up and over, relaxing the shoulders down. We'll start with the arm up and over. We'll take it down in a minute. Softening the floating ribs in. You could close your eyes. You could look straight ahead, and whatever feels comfortable. Taking one more inhale here, and then exhale to wrap that right arm behind you. Drawing the tip of the right shoulder away from the ear. And let's turn the head to look down towards that left arm, left foot. So Yin Yoga works by holding the poses for a little bit longer. We're trying to encourage the muscles of the body to let go enough so that we can work a little bit deeper into the fascia, the material that encases all the muscles and the tendons and the bones, which when that gets really tight, it can be really difficult to actually lengthen out the muscles and find flexibility. Continue to follow the breath in and out through the nose. Allow that right hip to drop down. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. And then inhale, come back upright. And then starting to come forward over the legs. So we'll hold this pose for a little bit longer. So this is a bit more of being able to release into the pose. You might have some cushions in front of you if you like to lay down on a cushion, or have your block or something here that you could rest your head down. Keep flexing this underneath leg just to begin with. Allow the shoulders to be soft. And the beauty of the Yin practice is that it really allows the focus to drop inwards. So closing the eyes if that feels good. Noticing what's happening in the body. Any thoughts or feelings that might be coming up. There's no need to judge or analyze how you're feeling unless there's any sharp pain, and I would recommend you come back out of something if you have experienced sharp pain. But if not, and you're just feeling the stretching, and yeah, there are things that come up. Being in a space of accepting what is without needing to change it. as we hold here for a bit longer, you might feel that you're able to start to move in a little bit more, or alternatively you may need to back out. So the practice of listening to what you need. With each exhale, the body getting a little bit softer. But the sensations in the body might be becoming a lot more intense the longer we hold things. We're using the breath to meet that rising sensation. And 5 more full breaths here. And then starting to walk the hands back up. Just carefully releasing that top leg, taking both legs long. For a moment, let's bring the hands behind you, fingers pointing backwards, feet fall away from one another, closing the eyes. Just noticing any feedback in the body, the difference between the right side of the body to the left side of the body. And so feedback meaning just any sensations, or residual sensations, thoughts or feelings. So giving the body a bit of a chance to integrate the pose it's just been doing. And then let's open the eyes, bring the legs together, coming back upright. And then we'll go to the other side. So bring that left leg up and over, stacking knee to knee as much as you can. Flexing that right leg, right foot. And just starting upright to begin with. And then taking that right hand a little bit over towards the right hand side, a bit further away from you, dropping the right shoulder away from you as you bring that left arm up and over. Press down through that left sitting bone. Soften the floating ribs in. And let's bring this left arm behind the back. Tip of the left shoulder drawing away from the left ear and then turning the head to look down towards the right arm. And using that left arm behind you as a way to press the middle part of the back towards us. So that helps to soften the floating ribs in as well. At the same time, try to not curve the shoulders towards the right. Keep that left shoulder open to the front. And then let's come back up. Release that back hand. Taking an inhale and exhale, starting to come forward once again. And using your cushions or your pillows if you have them nearby. And starting somewhere where you feel like you can hold it for a while. So don't go to your maximum and feel like you're just hanging in there. You might just take a little step back from your edge, and that gives you space to move into as we hold it for a couple of minutes. Starting by flexing through that right foot, then as time goes on, you might just start to let that foot really relax. Try to let the shoulders soften. And being in that space of listening to the body. noticing when any space opens that might allow you to move in just a little bit deeper. The process of letting go and relaxing into the pose, even if it might be feeling quite intense, that process of relaxation is continuous. So you reach a point where you feel like you've softened, and then again you will reach another point where you can just soften a little bit more. You might notice there's a little bit of holding somewhere in the body that you weren't aware of. Take 5 more full breaths here. And then starting to walk the hands back up. Releasing that top leg out. And once again, we'll take that position with the hands behind, fingers pointing backwards, letting the feet fall away, closing the eyes. And just noticing. Does the right side of the body and the left side of the body feel more similar now? Are they still a little bit different? And sometimes when we come out of a yin pose, there's a kind of residual tingling sensation in the joints, like that might have been a bit more compressed. And that is an indication that, energy is starting to flow a little bit more through that part of the joint. And then let's open the eyes. Coming forward, cross the legs, come over onto all fours just for a moment. And then take this right knee forward towards the right wrist and walk that left foot back a little bit further. If this is really strong on your knees, then just bring that right heel all the way in towards your groin. If you feel like you've got the space, the capacity in your hip and your right knee, then you might take the foot a bit further away from you. Keep flexing the foot, especially if that right leg is further out. And then starting to come down, you might come down to your forearms, you might come all the way down onto your cushions or rest your forehead all the way down. So just find a position that you feel like you can hold for a while, remembering that you don't have to go to your maximum straight away. You can take a little bit of time to move in. Allow the breathing to be soft and easy. If ever the breath gets too jagged, then it might mean that you have to back out a little bit. Trying to allow the hips to be heavy. And if you have space, you've been a bit more upright, you may come down a little bit further. Trying to use the breath to let go. halfway through here, so 1 more minute. Has any unnecessary tension crept into the face or the shoulders? And as much as possible, trying not to wriggle around. So the yin practice also teaches us to try to stay with something that might not be that comfortable without distracting ourselves. And we often distract ourselves so we don't have to feel what's happening in the present moment. And as long as it's not sharp pain, and this is a practice of coping with discomfort in the kindest way possible. Last breath. And then let's start to walk the hands back up. Let's be very careful here. Be quite mindful. Tuck the back toes under. You might bring that left knee a bit further towards you, and then starting to take that right leg back, coming onto all fours. And then take that right leg back, tuck the toes under, and just straighten the right leg for a moment. Just releasing that hip and the knee. And then coming back onto all fours, and we'll go to the other side. So taking that left knee towards the left wrist, tucking the back toes under, trying to walk it back to where you can, and remembering it's an option to bring that left heel right in towards the groin, and try to have the left knee over towards the left hand side, releasing the back toes. And then as you're ready, you're starting to come down. Keep flexing that left foot, particularly if it's away from the groin. Try to allow the hips to be heavy. And whenever we're moving from one side to the other, it's good to just notice if one side is a little bit tighter or a little bit looser. We're usually more dominant on one side, and so that side might actually get more tighter because you use it more often, or alternatively another side could be a bit weaker or less flexible. So not pushing yourself into the depth of your previous side just because that's where you got to then. And that process of letting go, ongoing. So this is continuous releasing and unwinding. If you have space, and you might come down a little bit further. Soft shoulders and soft face. Using your breath. Take 5 more full breaths here. And starting to make your way back up, and take your time. And this time, if you can, just come straight over onto this left hip, bringing the right leg forward, taking both legs out in front, and then lying on your back. We won't take our Shavasana just yet, we're almost there, but just for a moment, lying in your Shavasana. Noticing the feedback. And then bringing the feet flat onto the mat. And bringing the feet together, cross the right leg over the left. If you can, wrap the right foot behind the left cuff, if not, just where you can. And then bringing the knees up a little bit, let's drop the legs over towards the left-hand side, bringing that left hand on top of the right thigh, opening the right arm out to the side, turning the head to look over the right shoulder, just allowing the right shoulder to be heavy. Allowing the upper back to melt down towards the mat. And even though you might be using this left hand to encourage the legs to come over towards the left, just allow the left shoulder to drop down as well. And if you would prefer to just have the arm relax, just releasing the hand. Take 5 more full breaths here. And then inhaling, bringing the legs back up through center. Release that right leg down, feet together. Cross the left leg over, and if you are going for that, wrapping that left foot behind the left calf, bringing the knees in towards the chest slightly and then dropping them over towards the right hand side. Right hand on that left thigh to begin with. Extend that left arm out, turning the head to look over the left shoulder. Closing the eyes. Allowing the legs to be heavy. Releasing any unnecessary holding. Let's take 5 more full breaths here. And then inhaling, coming back up through center, releasing that left leg, bringing the hips back to center if they've shifted around, taking the legs out long, letting the feet fall away, arms away from the body, palms facing up. Closing the eyes. And with each exhale, allowing the body to get a little bit heavier and a little bit softer. And any residual tension in the body from something we've done in the practice or anything else that's going on in your life, imagine that tension dissolving and leaving the body on the exhale. Completely letting go and finding rest for the next few minutes. Stay here for as long as you need to. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste.